What is up, Everyday Athlete Podcast Network listeners? Welcome to another episode of the Fireside Chat. I'd give you the episode number, but I have no idea. We're close to 300 episodes on this podcast now, maybe 400. I really don't know because the conversations are too good to worry about counting. Today, I'm going to be joined by Kaitlin Carew, who has done some amazing things in this sport. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she has been a guest on our Food Fight Friday, as well as our Fiery Ember shows. But it's been some time. So we've got plenty of stuff to catch up on. And I also want to talk to her about women and the things that women are doing in our sports, from breaking records like Rachel Entrekin to, lowering the barriers, shall we say, or increasing the barriers of the difficulty of getting into events like Kona, and then breaking barriers at different events in terms of time qualifiers and just really showing out what women can do in these sports. But before I get her on the show, please do me a favor, subscribe, rate, review the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube, so make sure you check us out over there and subscribe and comment. To me, that's the most important thing. I love that you're listening to the show, but also comment and let us know what you think of the show. Ask questions of the guests. I will forward them to them, which I've done many times, so that they can then respond to you based on the question that you ask. So let's get started. Let's bring Kaitlin on the show and let's have some fun. My friend, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. It's got to be close to 2 years since we've talked, is what I'm guessing.
I think so. I was gonna say, I'm trying to remember when I did the Food Fight Friday. I think that was the last thing.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think when you did that show with us, you were on like at a park bench, like leaving work or on your lunch break or something, like just
Yeah,
totally
it was.
out of the blue kind of thing.
I I was leaving work when that happened.
Yeah. And so,
And
like,
I
I love telling people, like, we don't script this stuff. Like, what you see is what you get. We don't edit the
yeah,
shows. This is everything. This is why we are who we are. And this is why I believe we are as trusted of a platform as there is, because there's no pretense to it. We're not over
yeah.
editing. We're not adding all these filters. Like, this is it, man. I'm
Mhm.
going to say, I'm going to curse and I'm going to give you my reactions. Here we are.
Yeah, I was trying to leave work early that day to get home to record it, and it just didn't work out. I was at work later than I wanted to be, and I was like, well, let's hope I have service here because this is where I'm doing it.
We would have pressed publish on that episode regardless, because that's just the fun of it, all of this.
Yeah.
Look, until
Yeah.
Netflix pays me a gazillion dollars, this is what you get. Let's get into this. I led the show off intro with what women are doing in the sports today. We are super proud partners of Hedis, which is a women-founded running shoe brand that makes shoes specifically for women. Yes, men, you can put your feet in them if you want, but this is not taking a shoe made for men, adding pink to it, and selling it. Like, they are literally looked at the biomechanics of women. And so I want to get into the conversation. Mother's Day was this month in May, and we're currently celebrating women who graduate, whatever that means, from high school all the way up to doctorates, and our athletes. And so it's perfect timing to have you on the show. I'm going to give people a rundown of your accolades since basically November, and then we'll jump into it because they're impressive and you should not be humble about it. You work your ass off. Anybody who goes to your Instagram page will see the amount of work that you're doing. And so you should not be humble about it. So at the last Ironman Arizona in November, you qualified for Kona. So you obviously will be going there in October. That's the first time you've qualified for Kona? Yes or no?
Yes, that is the first time I've qualified.
Awesome. So we'll talk about that because I've been there as a spectator. And then you just recently ran a sub 3 hour marathon at the Eugene Marathon, which was a goal back in 2023 at Boston. And it's taken you 3 years to get there. So I want to talk about that as well, like the patience it
Mhm.
takes to continue to work to get to those goals. So you also have a third goal that you're being very patient with in trying to make your way to getting a pro card from Ironman and in the sport of triathlon. And those are all big, lofty goals. And I want to talk about them. So which one came first? Was it qualifying for Kona? Was it running a sub 3? Was it getting your pro card? Which goal came first?
It was definitely qualifying for Kona.
Okay.
That was a goal that I had that I came up with back in 2011 when I was a freshman in high school. My
What
friend showed
Go ahead.
what
I was gonna say, what prompted that?
Yeah, my friend showed me art project she did with the Iron Man logo, and I was like, "What is this thing?" And so she showed me what the race in Kona was, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is really cool." Like from that point on, I wanted to do an Iron Man, and then it evolved, and it also, as I looked into it more and all the research and whatnot, I was like, oh, I want to qualify for Kona. I want to run here. I want to run this race. So that was, I set that goal in 2011, or like started thinking about that and wanting to do that in 2011. And it took me until 2026 to call, or 2025 to qualify.
But when was your first Ironman event? It wasn't
Yeah.
as a freshman in high school because you're not old enough.
My first Ironman was in 2017.
Okay,
So
so a dream of 15 years, actively pursuing it for basically 9.
yeah.
How close had you gotten over those 8 or 9 years until Ironman Arizona when you actually did it?
Yeah. So about like halfway through the first one, I kind of abandoned like any goal that I had, and I was like, just finish.
Yeah.
I so like was not prepared for that race and that distance. I think I was a little naive about how far that truly is and like
Like most
how
of us.
challenging it truly is.
Yeah.
Um, because like I was young and I was athletic and I was like, I trained for it, but not to the extent that I should have, not with the nutrition how I should have. Like that race taught me so much just about like that distance and what it takes to be prepared at for that distance. And then in 2021 was my second one, and I was like, I had dialed in a little bit better. I still learned about training and how to like my nutrition after that one, but I was leading my age group for like 90% of the race. And then on the run, my stomach started to bug me to the
Oh,
point
no.
that I was like, I'm either going to throw up and stop running, or I can try and at least finish still, like slow
Yeah.
down and finish. Because I was like, I had some time between me and second. So I was like, maybe if I slow down, I can still like finish. And she passed me like not even a half mile before the finish line.
Oh, wow. So let me ask you this before you go on. What was more agonizing for you? Was it the stomach revolt when it first happened and this idea like, "Oh my goodness, I might have to slow down and get past," or was the actual passing more, of a bother for you at that race?
Probably when she actually passed me, because when I had to slow down, like my friends were on the course telling me where I was, and I was
Okay.
still in front. Um, Truth be told, there was a section where I hadn't seen anyone for a while, so I thought she had already passed me. So then
Okay.
to have my friend next to me tell me like, yeah, that's her as she ran by me was just like
Oh, that's a
really
dagger.
deflating. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
ugh, that's okay.
And what race was this at?
This was Ironman Wisconsin. So I did my
Okay.
first one in Wisconsin because that's where I was
Yep.
living at, like that's where I'm from. And so
Yep.
it was a lot easier. It was really easy for me to get down to Madison because I had family that lived in Madison.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's a double loop run, right?
so
It's two loops?
yes, yeah, it's a 2 loop
Yeah.
bike, 2 loop run. Mhm.
Right. Yep. Okay, so
So
you missed by a half mile, so give or take 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
yeah, I think it was like 5 or 6 minutes
Yeah.
roughly. So yeah,
So
that one was tough.
what's the next close call?
So then I signed up for Ironman California in 2024. Um, I was in 21, I was graduating grad school, and then I was starting a job. And then I got married in 23. So I was like, I just can't do another full right now. Like there's where life is, like that's just not fitting in.
Yep.
But so California in 24, I was the 10th female to finish overall, but 5th in my age group.
Oh
And
my goodness.
my age group
That's
had 3
wild.
slots. Yeah.
But
So
so I want to explain for those who may not be familiar with Ironman. So each race, and you can please correct me if I'm wrong because it's been a little while, but each race gets a certain number of slots that qualify for Kona, and then those slots are essentially divvied up by the percent of the athletes within each age group. And
yes.
so in this particular case, as Kaitlin mentioned, there were 5 females that were in the top 10 in her age group, and the allocation of slots for Kona for that particular race that year was 3. So you had to
Mhm.
be on the podium in order to qualify for Kona. Now, there are opportunities to get into Kona if athletes don't take the token to get in, essentially.
Yeah.
An athlete can decline the invitation to
Mhm.
participate in Kona, and so the slot may roll down. In this
Yes.
particular case, I'm guessing all 3 took the slot, and so you
Yep.
were on the outside looking in.
Yes. Yes, and it was just really frustrating because every age group above me, or not every age group, but the couple above me, they had 6 or 7 slots.
Oh, wow.
So it was just it's like, and this was the old system. They've switched to a completely different system now, which we will not go
Right.
into because that's a whole nother conversation. Um, but based on that system, yeah, like the age group above me got 6 slots. And
So go ahead.
it was just a little like it was really hard to sit through that award ceremony.
I can only because you're
Um,
waiting. You're like, "Oh, I hope somebody declines the
yeah,
invitation so that it might
yeah,
roll."
or
Well, 2
someone
people
else
have to decline.
from a different age group doesn't want theirs, so it rolls into our
Right.
age group.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a lot of like there was a lot of like chance also, and like kind of some chance with slots, and like maybe you can like kind of
Yeah.
skirt your way around to get in, and sometimes it
Yep.
worked, sometimes it didn't. It just depended on the race and who was all
Yep.
there.
So, which one was harder so far? Getting past with a half a mile to go, or being in the top 10 and yet still 5th in your age group, meaning you're on the outside looking in?
Yeah, being in the top 10 because I also went under 10 hours for that race.
Yeah.
So that's not like it wasn't like I just finished the race. Like that I feel like is like a pretty good time to have for a full. And majority
Yes.
of the time, if you're around that time, like you're gonna
Yeah.
qualify. So
It
it
just goes
was
to
really,
show
yeah.
it just goes to show everybody, right, that there are things that you can control and there are things that you
Mhm.
can't control. What you can control is your effort. What you can't
Yeah.
control is who's pressing register on the race day, but on the
Yeah.
button. You can't control that. That's it.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so that was 2023, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
so
sorry,
then the
that was
next time
2024.
2024. So now you go to
Yes.
Ironman Arizona in 2025.
Yes.
And what's the mindset? Like take me through the thought process of this is my year, or I don't feel as good, so maybe it's not. Like, where are you at before the gun goes off and you're in Tempe Town Lake?
Oh yeah, that was it was this is the year. This is it. Like
Yeah, full
this is it. I'm gonna do it now.
full send.
Um, yes. And Ironman that Friday before the race, so like to try and wrap this up and make this short, they had switched the qualification standards for the world championships. So it's now not by age group, it's like a performance pool for who's most competitive to try and get the most competitive athletes to
Field.
Kona.
Yep.
There's still, I think, kinks that need to be worked out with that, which is, like I said, a whole nother story we could talk about. But they like put your time into an equation and then it spits out a list and it's supposed to take age out of it and
Okay.
just like put everyone on a level playing field so that the most competitive people go to Kona. That's what it's supposed to do. And before Arizona, they were doing a male and female performance pool all in one. So there was one performance pool that everybody was getting put into, and it was supposed to take like the age and the gender out of it. So everyone had a fair shot of qualifying if you didn't win your age group. And the first couple races they rolled this out at, there was like barely any females in like the top 50 of this list.
Right.
It wasn't it didn't seem like it was doing what they intended it for it to do. So the Friday before Ironman Arizona, they announced they're doing a separate male and female performance pool. And so that's how I qualified, because
Did
they
it lower your anxiety? Did it lower your anxiety and stress about qualifying when that announcement was made? Did it increase your confidence? Let me say that. Did it increase your confidence that I've got a shot now?
Yeah. I mean, yes. What my main goal was, because of this whole like debacle with how they switched the qualification standard, my main goal was to try and get top 3 to qualify for my pro card. So
Okay.
like Ironman world champs were a thought, like almost in the back of my mind. I had kind of like moved off of it because the qualification was just so funky and so weird that I was like, I can't focus on that. I need to focus on like this, because I know I have a better shot at doing this than trying to qualify for the world championships.
Which is wild to think about.
Yeah.
Like, that's a
Right.
wild thought.
Right. So it
do you
definitely
go ahead.
boosted my confidence, because I was like, okay, now like we have a separate list between the two. Like there's a chance that I could do this. I have a much better shot at doing this now than I did beforehand.
It makes me wonder if the quote unquote inability to qualify under the earlier rule before they switched it to gender based gave you sort of like a moment to relax. Like, I'm just going to go for my top 3 and see if I can do it. Not that there's no pressure there, but removing the pressure of having to win your age group essentially, right? And qualify for Kona, which is just an additional anxiety. I wonder if that relaxation gave you the quote unquote permission to be like, I'm going for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think what happens is when we remove some of those stresses from our life that go ahead.
I don't know. Like they changed it, and I remember kind of being like, oh, okay, whatever. Like my main focus is something else. So it wasn't until after the race that I was much happier that they changed it, which we can get into.
Yeah. So walk me through. Do you have spotters on the course? Do you have, friends and family that are on the course giving you information as you're processing, as you're going through the race? You're nodding yes. So where are you and when are you getting sort of these notifications of where you are during the event, place-wise?
Yeah. So I had a couple family and friends like throughout the course watching the tracker on the app. And during the bike,
let me set this up for people too, because Ironman Arizona is just so people understand, it's a 112-mile bike, but your friends and family, it's not like they're sitting at a certain space and then they're texting you, I'm guessing, because Ironman Arizona is a 3-loop bike course. So you're going to be coming around to them at some point 2 to 3 times and seeing them. So I want people to understand that and visualize, like, you don't have an earpiece getting,
no,
oh, by the way.
No. They're just on the side of the road yelling at me.
Yes.
So when I would see them and they would on the bike, they'd try to yell like the place to me. Half the time I heard, half the time I didn't. It's kind of hard on the bike.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But mostly like on the run is where they were telling me where it was at. And through the majority of the run, I was in the top 3. And I was like, okay, this is exactly what I want. I'm exactly where I need to be. And then like mile, I don't know, 9 or 10 of the run, my stomach started to bug me. And I had to slow down, because at this time, I was trying to keep my pace up. I was trying to run just as fast as I could, as fast as I was going to throw anything. I had to stop at a porta potty every minute. I was like It was one of the two ends that was always fighting me,
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun for a marathon. Um,
I've been there. It
and
happened to me at Ironman Chattanooga. I understand.
yeah, yeah, it happens. This was by far the worst that I've experienced over all of the Ironmans. This was by far the worst feeling that I've had. And I was in the top 3 for the majority of the race, but my body was just like not letting me go the pace that I wanted to go. Like I could tell I was tired, but I was like, I could have kept like my legs weren't like overly like exhausted like that. I felt like it was my body giving up. It was my stomach and my GI system that was just not happy with me. And it was once again like, okay, I could stop and then I have no chance of doing anything, or I could at least try and finish, because now the thought came into my head of like, okay, if I get passed by other people, like I still have a chance of qualifying for Kona. I could
Okay.
still do going. I think I didn't know, but I think I knew that I was out of the top 3 from having to slow down.
Right.
And so I was like, my mindset kind of shifted, because it was like, okay, I still am gonna place high enough that I might have a chance of qualifying for Kona. So that was how, and I was like, just get to the finish line. I've also traveled from Oregon to Arizona. I've done all this work. You've done all this, like all this training. I was like, I'm at least gonna get the finisher medal.
Yep.
I'm at least gonna get a medal here. I've come too far and I'm way too close to the finish line to just stop.
Right.
I'm gonna get the medal. So that the medal.
You're right. And so when you cross the finish line, do you have any idea of where you are at from qualifying for Kona, putting yourself in a position to have a slot?
Yeah, I was. So when I crossed the finish line, I didn't know where I was. And
Okay.
I felt like I was ready to throw up. So I went to the medical tent so that they could
Yep.
give me some like nausea medication and just like lay vertical for a little while. So that's what I did. And then I found my family after that point. My mom was ready to hop the fence into the medical tent. And I was like, I'm fine.
Of course.
I'm okay. I just need to lay here for a second, okay? Like I just need no one to talk to me, no one to touch me. I just need to lay here and not move.
Go
So
ahead.
then after when I met my family, that's where we figured out like my placing and all of that.
And what was that feeling like? So again, so you go from top 3, which was the goal so you can get your pro card, to disappointment with your body not giving you the ability to continue into that spot, to laying in a medical tent, getting cleaned up, fixed up, ready to go, to now doing some math calculations and being like, "Oh, I did qualify for Kona."
Well, so I didn't know if I qualified or not,
Okay.
because the way they put out the sheet of like, here's this list of people and how we will roll through them tomorrow at the award ceremony. And each age group gets one slot for the top 3 of the age group. So if first place doesn't take it, it goes to second and then it goes to third. And if no one takes it, then it goes into the performance pool as an extra slot that no one
Okay.
wanted it from the age group.
Gotcha.
Um, so on the list, I believe I was like 13th, but you had to take out 6 or 7 of them were the age group winners. So you had to pull them out because they were already slotted for like the
The
slot
spot.
via their
Yeah.
age group.
Right.
And we didn't know how many slots. I was like, I'm going to be right on that cusp. Either we're going to get just enough or I'm going to be right below it.
Right.
And so we go to awards the next morning. They announce how many slots there are for the females. And I needed like 2 or 3 people to turn down their slot for me to get one. Because everyone in the age group, every age group winner or 1 through 3 took a slot.
Somebody's taking it, right?
Yes. So that knocked them out. Like that took them off the list, but I had already accounted for that point.
Right.
And when they announced how many slots they were giving out in general, like I looked at my parents and my dad's face was just like, ugh. Like you could see like oh my God, are you kidding me? Like you're going to be like 1 or 2 people off. If everyone took it how they were supposed to, I was going to be like 1 or 2 people short. But there were 1 or 2 that said no. There was, or maybe 2 or 3. There were a couple people that said no. And so as we rolled through that list and 1 or 2 people said no, I looked back at my parents and I was like, oh my God, there's going to be enough slots. Like I'm going to be the last one to get a slot. And so like
that's wild.
The like range of emotions from going like
yes,
oh my
explain
God,
that.
I didn't qualify, I didn't get top 3, like this sucks, to oh my God, I qualified. Like I'm gonna get the slot. Like it's like this all happens within like 5-10 minutes too. So it's not like it's a long period of time. It's like boom, boom.
But it is a long period of time because it's from the day before. Like you have to wait. You don't have, right? Like, and that anticipation, and now it's like, oh no, we're not getting in to, oh my goodness, there's a really, really, really good chance we do. Like that wave of emotions.
Yeah, it was quite a ride. But I looked back at my parents and I was just like, I just like had my hands over my face and I was like, I looked back and I was like, is this right? Like I'm like, there's 1 more slot left. Just like we were all just like, it's actually happening. Like, because we've been so close, like 2 times before this, and we've done this whole award ceremony, and I've left in tears every time. My parents were just, they were just as invested as I was in it. And then
you have to vocally accept the invitation, right?
Yeah. So when they called my name, I was speechless, but I raised my hands. I was like, I'm here. Don't say anyone else's name. I'm taking the slot. I'm here. And then I walk over to like do it all. And like adrenaline's just like running through me. I'm like shaking on my way over there. Like they're asking me all these questions and I'm just like, what, like, stunned with what's going on right now.
Here's my credit card. Just charge it. We'll move on.
Yeah. Yeah, I was filling all this information and I was like, just don't look at the charge. Don't look at the charge. That's a later problem.
Well, congratulations. I think your story, and we'll talk about running a sub 3 here as well, is just a beautiful example of working hard, having patience, and not cutting the goal shorter, right? Like you could have changed the goal all along the way and been like, well, if I just make top 5 again or top 15 or whatever the number is, right? You could have adjusted the goal so that you wouldn't have to go through the heartache of just missing out again. I think there's a lesson to be learned there for all of us, right? Set your goal, and chase and pursue your goal, and then be patient in understanding how to get there. And I think the patience also comes into with getting this sub 3 marathon, because you told me in the green room after Boston in 2023, you had this goal of running a sub 3 hour marathon. So what was your time at Boston in 2023 that you were like, I think I can get this goal of sub 3? You're laughing. Is it were like 4.5 hours?
No, it was 3:19.
Okay. So
like 20 minutes faster.
It's a big number. That's a big number in a marathon.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you run 3:19. No. And I've said this before, and this is not an insult to people, athletes like myself, right? For me to go from a 4:30 to a 4:10 is slightly easier than it is for somebody who's running a 3:19 to run a 2:59, even though it's still the same 20 minutes, because the fitness gains that you have to make are much, much smaller than the fitness gains that I would have to make going from 4:30 to 4:10. And I just, you're already working your ass off. And again, it's not to say that people at 4.5 hours, 4 hours, 5, 6, 7 hours aren't working their ass off, but the fitness gains are much faster at those levels than they are at the levels that, because you guys are competing for milliseconds at that point. And it's an enormous, and if you think about this, right, going 20 minutes is almost a minute a mile faster. And so if you're already running 6.5 minute miles, like, or 7 minute miles, to think, oh my goodness, I got to run a 6:10, 6:20, like that's a huge jump mentally as well as physically.
I think that was the biggest thing so I always like wanted to run a sub 3, but like with Boston and with the race that I qualified for Boston with, I knew that wasn't realistic. Like I knew I was not going to be able to keep that pace for 26.2 miles. I knew that that was not like a realistic goal. It was always a goal that I had and like thought about. And then after Boston and like going in that, like after that race, I didn't do an Ironman that year because I got married that year. But I knew that year that, okay, if I want to hit these things that I'm dreaming about, if I want to try and race, try and go after my pro card, try and go for the sub 3, try and qualify for Kona, like I need to do, like, this has got to be my focus.
Right. Something has to give.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I think too was I shifted like my mindset a little bit. I shifted how I thought about training and what my priorities were. And my priority outside of work and being able to pay for all of this was training. Like that was the first thing that I would do when I would wake up in the morning, before I would go to bed, in my free time, like I spend it training. And I knew that was the sacrifice that I don't think I was ready to make before that point. But I knew after getting married and after like our honeymoon, that was going to have to be my focus. And that's what I think made the biggest difference in dropping this amount of time was that became my priority. And the amount of training that I do now is so much more than what I did when I was running in 2023 for Boston and before that point even. Like just like the sheer volume is the biggest difference. I don't even think the intensity is that much different than what I was doing before. I think the volume is so different. And I think the thing that people sleep on is how much swimming or biking training can cross over to running and how much strength training can help you.
Yes. Say it louder, please. I can't tell people enough.
So slept on because I was not running. It wasn't like I was running tons and tons of miles leading up to Eugene because I did a half Ironman at the end of March. So like about a month beforehand. So my focus was not building up to a marathon. My first focus was running a half Ironman. But within that, I'm doing 2 to 3 hours of bike training almost multiple times a week for that, which I think totally transitions over. It still builds your capacity, your aerobic capacity for running. I was doing goals on the bike and all of that stuff still helps.
Yes. I was saying, I was on a podcast yesterday and I was explaining how they asked me what I would change in my training for Cocodona because I finished Cocodona in 2021. And I said, I'd probably swim more. And they were like, what? And I said, yeah, like, think about this. It's low impact on your legs. You're not pounding, your legs when you're in the water. And half of your workout is essentially breathless. Like when you're swimming, right? You're increasing your opportunity for VO2 max because you can't breathe when you're swimming underwater. And so I would probably swim more because I believe that there is a massive translation from definitely swimming and certainly biking too, but absolutely from swimming to running, where it can improve everything without the impact that running would take. And I am a low impact runner, 35 miles a week, 25 to 35 miles a week.
Yeah.
But if you can get in the water for 2 to 3 hours a week at the same time, like that's going to help tremendously. And then strength
Mhm.
training should never be skipped. It should just never be
Never.
skipped. And I think
And
athletes need to understand that strength training is run training. It
yeah,
is.
yeah. Now, and like my full-time job when I'm not training is a physical therapist. So
Yeah.
I will die on the strength training hill because it's literally like what I studied. Um, but I also think people go into the weight room and think that they shouldn't lift heavy and should lift
Right.
like lighter weights for tons of reps. And
Yep.
I think we need to, and I think there's a little bit more research coming out too about how heavy strength training does help endurance. And it makes such a big difference, I think.
So I've been doing these sports for 19 years. I've been injured 0 times. I go to
Yeah.
the gym, like go lift, go pick up heavy
You-
shit and put it back down.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes a
It's
difference.
such a
And
big difference.
I think the other part too is like the endorphin rush is different. And so you get this endorphin rush from picking up heavy shit, and you get this
Yeah.
endorphin rush from running fast or
Yep.
far. When you put those 2 rushes together, it's like utopia. Like you just can't
Yeah.
match it. And
Yeah.
so get in the gym. And by the way, you don't have to go to a gym if you don't have access to one. You can do stuff in your house that you
Mhm.
can order, some weights off of Amazon and stuff and
Yeah.
and and do it there too. Like
Or
just do
pick
strength
up
training.
backpacks. I have
Yeah.
before we had weights here, I loaded stuff into a backpack because I have books from college
Yes.
still. I loaded that in a backpack and I squatted with
Yes.
that. Like,
Cinder
it
blocks, like you can
yeah,
find stuff.
just find anything. Use an appliance, like,
Yeah.
it will look weird, it'll probably feel a little weird for a bit, but you can still like, you can modify things,
I
and
would
I
I
just
used to say,
think
like,
that
my dad had this
yeah,
crazy strength, and he never stepped foot in a gym, but he was a maintenance worker, so he was lifting up appliances, and he was picking up air
yeah,
conditioners. He was lifting up all this heavy shit,
right,
8 to 9 hours a day. He had the
right,
dad strength.
yeah. I think it makes such a big difference. And I've really like shifted over the last couple of years to like be like getting more weight when I do go to the gym, like putting more weight on instead of keeping it lighter and like more reps.
Yeah.
I've really shifted to like we're gonna do less reps and be heavy and
Yeah.
put a ton of weight on it.
Yep.
And I think that makes a huge difference for injury prevention and for performance because we spend so much time doing like lots of reps at a lower intensity. Our bodies love having different stimulus, multiple
Yep.
stimulus, and adapting. And that's going to help us. And so if we keep doing the same thing, our bodies can't adapt as well then, or it takes
Right.
longer,
100.
or it just doesn't give you the same effect because it's
Could not agree more. This is
our bodies
us
love when we switch it up.
this is us in the choir preaching to each other.
Yeah.
So let me ask, I'm gonna ask you to pick your favorite child, qualifying for Kona or when you cross the finish line and you have secured a sub 3-hour marathon. Both were goals, both took a number of years to get there. Which child was your favorite?
I would have to say qualifying for Kona only because I've spent so much time trying to do that and I got
Yeah,
close so many times. So I think finally breaking through that was incredible. And like you said, it goes to show like this was years of work. Like I didn't do this
yeah,
overnight. I didn't do this in 6 months. I had to stick with it for years and I had to fail a few times and I had to learn a few
right.
things and I had to cry a couple times before I got it. But I did get there eventually. And so it just shows like as cheesy as it sounds, like working hard and just sticking it out, like not giving up, it does pay off eventually. It's
100%.
not it's not pretty, and it's going to be a heck of a process to get there, and you're going to question it so many times, and you're going to wish you probably stopped a couple of times, because it's a lot easier than being disappointed and hurt after multiple races. But it's so, if you stick it out, you'll see the results eventually. It will happen,
The
no matter when.
I think that what you have given us in the first 40 minutes of this conversation between qualifying for Kona and running your sub 3 hour marathon is patience, perspective, and grace, right? You have to have patience in order to achieve big goals. You have to have perspective. What was my training like? Where have I been? Where am I going? What do I have to do? And gain that perspective. And then give yourself grace, right? Because if you don't, the anxiety that you can build from just stacking that pressure constantly will hurt your
Mhm.
performance. And so give yourself grace. I was close. I didn't get there. I need to tweak this dial. I need to adjust that dial. And
Yeah.
and it's not to say you shouldn't be upset about it. It's not to say that you shouldn't be angry about it or emotional
Mhm.
about it. But you have to give yourself grace in the moment. It's done. I can't do anything about it. Process. Turn the page. What dials do I have to manipulate and maneuver so that I can get the goal on my next go round? Like
Yeah.
this has been a fabulous lesson all around, including the strength training on top of it too. So you're doing such a great service to not just male athletes, but I want to say this because I want to get into the female athlete conversation, but for female athletes as well. Whether you've been doing this for 19 years like myself or 19 days, like some people who are going to listen to this and just get started. So let me ask you this. So you do some amazing things in qualifying for Kona, sub 3 hour marathon. And then a month and a half ish after you get your sub 3 at the Eugene Marathon, Rachel Entrikin runs Cocodona, breaks the record by 7 hours. And honestly, right on her heels is Courtney DeWalter and Meg Eckert, who also break the women's course marathon there too. So, what's the emotion that you have when you see that? Is it, holy shit, women can do this, or damn right, women can do this?
Yeah, of course we can do this. That's definitely my reaction to it. I think it's cool to actually like see it playing out in real time, like watching other female athletes like actually do this. I think is so cool and
Yeah.
so inspiring for me. And then hopefully inspiring to like people who want to, women that want to try, or women that maybe are a little hesitant or afraid of giving it a go, that like we are capable of so much more than what we're
We've
shown,
been
maybe, or
told.
told
Yeah.
that we're capable, or what we're
Yes.
supposed to do. Um, like that, I think speaks volumes to watch other females do these things and watch other females compete with males and be just as competitive and can keep up with them. Um, I think that that's so cool to see. Yeah.
It it is amazing to see. So this is going to be published on a Tuesday, and it's today's Friday, May 22nd. Be published on Tuesday
Mhm.
coming up. But we just put up a giveaway video for Hedis where we're talking about women who are graduating, whether that's high school all the way up to doctorates, who are also putting on their running shoes and going out and doing things because there shouldn't be limits to what women can do despite what they've been told for decades. And I want to celebrate that. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because you're not only doing it for yourself, Kaitlin, you're doing it for the young girl who's sitting at home, or maybe on the course as you're racing and sees you and points and says, Mom, Dad, I want to be like her when I get older, right? Like, how does that make you feel thinking about being a role model? Is it a lot of pressure that you're like, man, I don't, it's hard, or are you open arming it and welcoming it in?
Honestly, I don't think I even think of myself like that. I I always hope that I'm inspiring someone else to try something, and inspiring other women specifically to try to give it a shot. but I don't ever actually like think about it like that way. But I have a funny story that to go with that. When I was running the Eugene Marathon at like mile 9, there was a little girl in the crowd, and she was like, "Mom, look, she's got glitter on. She's got glitter on," because I put some glitter on my face or whatever. And she was like, her daughter was so excited to see that someone had glitter on her face. Um, and I was just like, this is so cool. Like, I was with the 3 hour marathon, like pace group. So we're not
Yep.
running like a slow pace, but I
Right.
also have glitter on my face. Like, I look like a girl. I don't like, I look a little more feminine per se. Like, and it was
Yep.
like, it's just showing like you don't have to choose one. You can
Yeah.
do both things, and you can be powerful and you can still be feminine. And that doesn't like, they don't have to take away from each other. And I feel like we've just been told that they do, that you can't do both things. You have to be one
Mhm.
or the other. You're either going to choose to be really feminine and girly and pink or whatever,
Right.
or you're going to go lift in the gym and be like a tomboy. And it's like, that's not true. You can do
Not true at
both.
all.
You
Yes.
can do whatever you want to do. And no one should be able to tell you that you're not fitting a box or checking off points that you're supposed to for your gender. Like, that doesn't need to be a thing.
So a story to tie into what you just said. I ran the Pittsburgh Marathon at the beginning of May, and I also put glitter on my face because for myself, I'm like, I'm a star. I'm gonna rock this damn marathon. I like this is like the superpower I'm gonna have, and I'm gonna wear this glitter. And I want other people out there to know that you can have fun with this shit, right? Like
Yeah,
you're going
it's
to
so
do
fun.
something
It
really
makes it so much
right.
more fun.
You're going to do something really hard. Put a smile on
Yeah,
your face. And by
right.
the way, I was also wearing a bright pink shirt when I raced the Pittsburgh Marathon too, so that I could get some love from the crowd when they see me. And I told my wife Lori, I'm going to count how many people comment on the pink shirt. And
Yeah.
I got to like mile 22 and I had to stop counting because I was at like 35 or 40 people that were like, love the shirt, great pink shirt. And it
Yeah.
just gives you this energy and it
Yeah.
removes those barriers. Like you have to look a certain way to do this. And it's like, no,
Mhm.
man, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have fun in my way. And you can come along for the ride or you could just turn around and ignore me, which is perfectly fine too.
Yeah.
So I think it's really damn cool. Like here you are running at a 3 hour pace that a young girl sees you and is able to connect a female
Yes.
with doing something hard and having fun at
Right.
the same time.
Right. Yes. And she got to see me running by with a smile on my face, like so excited and so happy to be where I was at and just like enjoying what I was doing. Um, and that race, like that's what I did the whole race. If I heard someone cheer for me, whether I knew them or not, I was smiling, I was waving, I was enjoying it. And I think that's partly why I was able to hold my pace because I wasn't like so focused and so like hard on myself if I didn't hit exactly what I wanted when I wanted. I was
Yep.
just running and smiling. I was hitting people's signs. If they were cheering for me, I was
Yes.
waving, whether
Yes.
I knew them or not. Like if someone commented on something, I was waving or saying something back. Like I was
Yep.
truly out there enjoying myself. And I don't think I had had many races before that point that I felt like that. And that I
Yep.
was like truly in this place of like enjoying what I was doing while I was doing it. And um, I think that like that mindset during the race made a huge difference for me keeping my pace because then like I was having fun and I was laughing and smiling, which just makes your mood better. And then I was
Yes.
excited because I was holding the pace that I wanted to hold and I
Right.
wasn't dying. Like about 5 miles in, I made this decision. I was like, I'm hitting my pace. I cannot believe it. I'm going to look for people to cheer for me. I'm going to hit power up signs. I was like, I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm going to enjoy doing this because I can't believe that I'm actually like holding my pace right now. And I think
Yes.
there's so much power in that too, of like enjoying it along the way. Because my dad always tells me it's the journey, not the destination. And
100%.
like that whole race was like that's like essentially the destination, right? That the
Yeah.
journey is the months that you've spent trying to build to this point. And
Yep.
so I just was like, I need to honor all of this work that I've put in, and I need to like enjoy what I'm capable of and what my body's capable of right now, instead of like being so focused on every mile and not like trying to cut everyone else out around me. Like I need to
Yep.
enjoy all of this.
To along those lines, we ran the Oakland Marathon at the end of March. So it was about 5 or 6 weeks between Oakland and Pittsburgh. And I actually took off 10 minutes from Oakland to Pittsburgh, even though,
Mhm.
tired legs, additional travel and getting to Pittsburgh. We had just been in Europe for 3 weeks. And so it's not as if training was
You
happening
weren't
to
making
the
it
extent
easy
it was.
on yourself.
No, not at all. But I went in with this idea. It's like, I'm going to have fun at this event. We hooked up with Val Porter and the Pittsburgh Marathon crew there, which are amazing people that are in the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse. And we had a dance party before the gun went off and started. Like it was just like we're going to have fun, and whatever it is, it is. And to your point, it was like this cycle of, oh my goodness, I am holding a pace and I'm having fun, and oh my goodness, look at all the fun I'm having. And then look at the pace. Like it just kept cycling through
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
scenario. And it made it so enjoyable to get from start to finish at that race. And as opposed to your point, like, when is the next mile coming, and looking at your watch constantly, and like, why hasn't the mile gotten here? I feel like I've been out here for forever.
Right. Right. Yeah. It was, yeah. It made such a difference.
It's huge difference. So we're bumping up on time here.
Mhm.
We've just seen men go under 2 hours at a marathon, two men going under 2 hours at a marathon in London. Is that the next record, shall we say, to fall for women? Do you think there is the potential for a woman to run under 2 hours and continue this, up and to the right arrow of progression and proving all the naysayers wrong all along the way?
I definitely think it'll come eventually. I think it's gonna take a little bit of time because I think we're all still trying to wrap around our heads around that like someone
Yeah.
ran under a 2-hour marathon without like
Wild.
all the pacing, without the perfect conditions, like on a course,
Yeah.
someone ran a 2-hour marathon. Like that just blows my mind. And I can't even like wrap my brain around that, like that someone can do that.
Yeah. It's
Um,
wild.
but I definitely think like now that it's happened, I think that there's definitely some female athletes that are going to start looking towards that and start like making that their goal.
I
I
am
think
beyond
that,
excited to see women taking overall podiums. Like, it's one thing to
yeah,
break a woman's course record. It's another thing to do what Rachel did and set the course record, period. Like, it
yeah,
would be fascinating and just an emotional uplift for me to see a woman go and take the podium number one at Kona at such a big event in the sport of triathlon, or at Challenge Roth, which is also a huge triathlon or event in the sport of triathlon,
yeah,
outright winning a marathon major. Like, it's going to happen. I don't know when, but my prediction is it's going to happen, and it's going to be such an amazing experience to see that when it happens. And
yeah.
I I think it's going to be less of we've arrived and more of I told you we could do this.
Right, 100%. I feel like that. I mean, I've been told so many times like, "Oh, you're really good for a girl. You're
That's
fast, but
bullshit.
you can't beat me." And like I can tell you almost every single time that I have beat that person.
Smoked them.
Because I'm like, "Okay, challenge accepted." Um,
Yes.
because it's just like there should not be this like stigma that it's like, "Oh, well, you're good for a girl." Like there's like that for a girl at the end of it. It's
Yeah.
like
Just period. Oh,
that should
you're
have
good.
you are
Period.
good, period. Like,
Right. Exactly.
um, any like if you look at let's see, I don't remember where I was in Ironman Arizona or California or any of my races, but if you look, like I was in the top 10 finishers overall, not
Right.
or top sorry, top 10% of finishers overall, not top 10 of just females, not like top 10 of my age group.
Right.
Top 10% of finishers overall. And it's like, don't you dare tell me that I'm good for a girl. Like,
Yes.
to be in the to be 90% of the whole field is not just good for a girl. And I think, like, there's more females speaking out about that. There's more female athletes don't need to be put in good for girls, and that is a separate category from everybody else. It's like, no, we are here to compete with all of you, and we can keep up with all of you just as well as anybody else can.
I'm going to put this out there because I want people to understand. When Kaitlin and I were in the green room, I told her not to be humble about qualifying for Kona or running a sub 3-hour marathon. And she was trying to be humble about it. I'm like, you've done some amazing shit. Like, you should be proud of it. You work really hard. And you could still hear it in the conversation in the prior 52 minutes that we've been talking. But in the last 3 minutes, when we were talking about women in general doing things that we're told they can't do, the humble has gone out the window, and I am here for it. I've beaten 90% of the field. Tell them that's it. Like, you've done the stuff. Like, you should be proud of that. And
that's
am
all
proud of you for.
All you have to do is tell me that someone said I can't do something, and then I'll really get going on a soapbox about it.
And I am so here for it, right? Like, you're good. Period. That's it. Like, the rest of that sentence doesn't need to be said. Like, put that in the garage. Leave it there parked.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Doesn't need
Kaitlin,
to.
This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me and talking about not just your own accomplishments, but seriously what women are fully capable of doing and what we are seeing them being able to do. Where can people follow your journey? Because I got to imagine ramp up for Ironman Kona is going to be happening soon, and people need to be able to follow you and see what the training is and the work that you're putting in alongside being a wife and an employee all at the same time.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's triathlete_Kaitlin. That's primarily where I'm posting everything. So yeah, the build-up's coming. It's all
awesome.
Coming.
We'll drop that in the show notes. I can't wait to follow your journey from here to the finish line as you run down the Queen K and cross over the finish line there with all the pomp and circumstance. And wish you luck in training. Keep the injury bug away. And thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
Same to you. Thank you for letting me be on the show. I love talking with you. It's always fun.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Everybody, thank you for joining Kaitlin and I. That was a great conversation. I hope you understand the lessons that she was teaching us all along the way. Patience, grace, perspective. Put those in your toolkit as you're making your way through our sports, and the future is unlimited for you. Thanks for joining us. Come back again next week when we have another fantastic guest on the Fireside Chat. And don't miss out any of our other shows on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. Subscribe, rate, and review. When you subscribe, you'll get the notification that a new episode is available. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time. Have a great one, everybody.